where we uncover the mysterious and the downright terrifying. Tonight, we delve into two spine-tingling tales of murder that seem to blur the lines between the real and the supernatural. These aren't just ordinary crimes, they are riddled with blood, ritual, and eerie connections to the occult. In November 2001, a quiet village on the island of Anglesey in Wales became the setting of a brutal and perplexing crime that shocked the nation. It was a crime so gruesome that even hardened detectives struggled to cope with its depth and its horror.
Yeah. I think for me it's very interesting the aspect with this kind of playing the keeping the balance.
A 90-year-old woman named Mabel Lation was found dead in her home. Mrs. Mabel Lation was found brutally stabbed 22 times by a former newspaper delivery boy, 17-year-old Matthew Hardman. But it wasn't the viciousness of the attack that stunned the investigators. It's what came next. The killer, obsessed with vampires and the occult, had not only stabbed the elderly woman, but also disfigured her body. He placed 2 iron pokers at her feet in the shape of a cross, and chillingly found wrapped in a newspaper inside a saucepan lying next to a disfigured body was the woman's heart. Matthew Harmon believed by drinking the blood of his victim he could gain immortality. Yes, immortality. Just like the vampires he was so obsessed with. But as investigators dug deeper into his troubled mind, they uncovered a deeper darkness. Hardman had previously attempted to convince a 16-year-old girl, an exchange student, that he was a vampire. He even tried to force her to bite his neck, desperate to fulfill his twisted fantasies. The trial was a nightmare. The injuries were so gruesome that reporters had a hard time describing them. Even Detective Superintendent Alan Jones, who had seen his share of brutality, was sickened. Hardman wept in the dock when the verdict came down. Life imprisonment. But still, the question lingers. What drives a young man to commit such a despicable act? Was it simply madness, or was it something more supernatural?
Yeah. I think for me it's very interesting the aspect with this kind of playing the keeping the balance.
This brings us to another eerie case, one that has baffled investigators for decades, a case that Superintendent Robert Fabian of Scotland Road once tried to solve. The haunting mystery of the Pitchfork murder. I take you to Valentine's Day, 1945, in the sleepy village of Lower Quinton, nestled in the shadows of Min Hill. A 74-year-old man named Charles Walton was found dead, his body gruesomely impaled on its own pitchfork. But the horror don't stop there. Crosses have been caved into his flesh, and the weapon used to mark his body still lodged between his ribs, and as if he wasn't strange enough, a bloodied walking stick was found near the body, having been used to bulge in his head. This murder investigation, though, reveals something disturbing. Locals whispered that Walton was no ordinary man. Words on the street said that he bred toads, practiced horse whispering, which was a strange skill that some viewed as witchcraft. He had a reputation as of a recluse. Some believed he was involved within dark rituals. But as Detective Fabian and his team sourced the crime scene, they uncovered more than they bargained for. On the hill where Walton's body was found, a black dog was discovered hanging from a tree. A chilling omen, and Fabian, while investigating, witnessed a strange dog that seemed to vanish into the air, leaving behind an eerie silence. This murder investigation, though, reveals something disturbing. Locals whispered that Walton was no ordinary man. Words on the street said that he bred toads, practiced horse whispering, which was a strange skill that some viewed as witchcraft. He had a reputation as of a recluse. Some believed he was involved within dark rituals. But as Detective Fabian and his team sourced the crime scene, they uncovered more than they bargained for. On the hill where Walton's body was found, a black dog was discovered hanging from a tree. A chilling omen, and Fabian, while investigating, witnessed a strange dog that seemed to vanish into the air, leaving behind an eerie silence. Was Walton a witch, or worse, could he be a vampire? As Fabian delved into the occult, he uncovered a disturbing history of similar ritual murders within the area, including the 1875 murder of Mrs. Ann Tennant, who was also slain in a horrifying, similar manner. The more Fabian investigated, the deeper the mystery became. Some villagers spoke of Walton's unnatural influence, suggesting he may be a practitioner of dark magic. His death a ritual to rid the village of his evil. But the investigation grew colder. Strange events continued to unfold.
Yeah. I think for me it's very interesting the aspect with this kind of playing the keeping the balance.
A series of unexplainable canine deaths haunted this investigation. A local tale also resurfaced about a vampire within the area. A vampire whose bloodthirsty kin was said to still roam the region. And then an old legend about a bloodthirsty vampire named Paxton, who was captured, tortured and destroyed, seemed to connect these brutal deaths to something far older than anyone could have imagined. Was Charles Walton a witch or a vampire, or simply the victim of something far darker, something that still lurks in the shadows of Lower Quinton? The silence that descended upon the village after Walton's death has never truly lifted. Even decades later, Fabian, the seasoned investigator, confessed that there was something uncanny about this case, something beyond logic, something he could quite never explain. We may never know the full truth, but the legends live on, lingering in the dark corners of Lower Quinton and beyond. This podcast was brought to you by Darkhorse Paranormal, where the past refuses to stay buried and the truth may never go fully uncovered. Until next time, keep your lights on and your doors locked. You never know what might be lurking within the shadows.